Now, from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather tonight. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go now, heading right on into our Monday evening. And after another hot afternoon out there with most of North Texas pushing that 90-degree mark, even heading into our Monday evening, this is a warm evening on tap, right through the 80s, essentially all the way through 10 p.m. So again, if you are making any kind of outdoor plans, heading quickly maybe out to the state fair, something like that, again, do anticipate on that warm evening. It is worth mentioning there is a very low end 10% probability of a stray shower as we go through the evening. More low-end rain chances tomorrow. The reason why we'll talk about, and again, what about that weak cold front tomorrow? The latest details on that momentarily as well. But this is what we did this afternoon. And again, these were the 90s I was talking about. Officially at DFW, we did top out rather at 91. And again, you can see even across North Texas, most of us right around 90. There were a few locations, though, like maybe up in Lamar County, up in the Paris, Texas area, again, 88 up there, right? So again, generally speaking, upper 80s to right around 90. Now, this is the cumulus field that really, as we've been on with you throughout the day, that we were monitoring, right? We knew we were going to develop some cumulus clouds out there today because of an increase in humidity. And we were thinking maybe one or two of those could potentially get a strong enough updraft that we could get a shower or two to develop. But again, as you're looking at this, I know the radar looks a little weird, but I've still got the visible satellite imagery loaded there. Nothing is developed, right? So we've basically stayed dry. And again, through about sunset, we continue with that very low end probability. The reason why we had that today, look carefully here. Down across parts of the deep south, again, you can't see all the ongoing rain, even some heavier tropical rain across parts of Mississippi. We had a southeasterly wind backing to the Gulf of Mexico, tapping into some of that moisture, so the humidity levels today came up a notch. And again, as we applied that daytime heating, the hot 90-degree temperatures, that's one of the reasons why, again, we bubbled up some of those cumulus clouds. Bit of a different story tomorrow, but kind of similar. See the blue line? That's our cold front. It's going to be a weak cold front by the time it gets here, but it will be moving through as we go through tomorrow. And again, during the heating of the day, also tomorrow afternoon, near that boundary, we may bubble up a shower or two. Again, I'll show you that on the modeling coming up. Otherwise, as we look at the overall pattern, again, you can see the big storm trough off to the north. That's what really ushered the front in. The trough is now pulling away, and essentially that's why the frontal boundary is now really losing momentum. It's a real fall cold front up across parts of Kansas, but like I mentioned, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, as it arrives here in North Texas, it's just going to limp in, and it's literally going to drop our temperatures the way it looks right now by maybe 2, maybe 3 degrees. So not a lot of heat relief, but it will be a fresher northerly wind that will be coming in. So there goes that storm system pulling away. Again, we've got temperatures trending down by a few degrees through the middle part of the week, but this is still an interesting part of the forecast. By this upcoming weekend, look at this ridging pattern build back in. That could be another bump in the temperatures back into the 90s for this upcoming weekend. Of course, we've got Texas OU Texas out at the State Fairgrounds Cotton Bowl. So again, we may be looking at a big warm up for that game. And remember, that game is now earlier or really later in the day, early afternoon at 2:30. So again, here we go through at least this evening. Again, a stray shower can't be ruled out. Here comes the frontal boundary tomorrow. You'll see a similar story. Again, a few showers possible, mainly south of Interstate 20. Again, it's a 10 to maybe 20% probability. Otherwise, over the next 7 days, where are the rain probabilities? You can see pretty spotty. But again, through the weekend, most of us, we do remain completely dry. So here comes the frontal boundary. You can see by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, here it comes out of Oklahoma. But look as we go through the day. Right, see how the colors begin to kind of wane? That's the northerly wind. The wind begins to relax, and anytime you have winds diminishing with the frontal boundary, it shows you the frontal boundary is weakening, and simply put, that is going to be the case. So essentially mid-upper 60s for overnight lows to right around 70 locally here in the Metroplex tonight. Tomorrow, most of us right back to around 90. Again, as that frontal boundary begins to approach and move in, there's the 10 to 20% probability, 20% in our southern counties. And then again, we'll take the temperatures down by a few notches on Wednesday. Look up along the Red River, maybe some lower 80s. That'll be a little bit nicer. You see it up in that direction. So again, we'll do right around 90 tomorrow. We'll do an 86 now on Wednesday. Very low in probability tomorrow, Tuesday, of a stray shower. Otherwise, we do begin to warm things back up for the weekend. And then we're watching about 12 days on down the road. Could be a pretty significant pattern change. Again, not this weekend, but the following weekend.